I just think it's one of the things you said there at the very end is the way that it always described to me is it's a journey, right? And
Hmm.
and I don't mean to say that in like that cat hanging on poster, like faux motivation way, but I view most of what we talk about in life as a journey.
Hmm.
Just use some of my own things, right? At various times throughout my adult life, I've been in like really good shape, six pack, whatever your marker for shape, I was it. And then at many times throughout, I've been out of shape. And the reason for that is because it's not like you get there, whether it's being clean from
Hmm.
drug addiction, whether it's being in shape, whether it's, I don't know, whatever your thing is, it's continual. That's one of the things that we always forget about life, I feel like, is that this is a continual process. There's going
Hmm.
to be ebbs and flows to this. There's going to be a lot of stuff that is required throughout your journey to do whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's be a rich person, be a doctor, whatever your thing is. There's a lot of steps to this, and then it requires recertification, not in like the actual
Hmm.
document sense, but you continually have to recertify what you're doing every day in day out. If I want to get back in
Hmm.
shape, I have to recertify that through my actions throughout the day and throughout the next day and throughout all these types of things. And I know from the various people I have in my life who have had addiction struggles, some of them falling as I say, falling back off the wagon, or relapsing and things like that, to those who never touched it again. It's never going to stop being part of the journey. And I think that's a
Hmm.
very important thing to keep focus on. And for some people that can sound very insurmountable, but I think it's a very good way to contextualize it, because it's something you have to choose continually. And no matter, again, I believe it's about everything you do in life, right? If you have a partner, whether you're married or just in a long-term relationship or whatever it is, you have to choose them continually. You don't get to just
Hmm.
choose them and then it's easy. It's, this isn't the Notebook. The movie doesn't just skip 60 years of life. You know what I mean? And you guys die in each other's arms. That's not how life works. You still have to choose them day in and day out. You have to choose them. I'll use my own things to annoy my girlfriend to say, you have to choose them when they're chewing gum like a machine gun and you can hear it across the room. You know what I mean? You have to choose them when they come to bed and like pull the covers and stuff like that. Like, these are really stupid, playful ones, right? But I think that's the same thing, like you said, when it comes to sobriety, when it comes to being in shape, when it comes to anything, we have to go on that journey and realize that it's a journey we're choosing, that nobody is
Hmm.
forcing us on this journey. We can choose to not be on it at any given time. And the fact that we choose to continue on it, I think, is one of the things we don't give ourselves enough credit for.
Hmm. Well, and I think like something that you just said is really, really interesting to me because I fully agree. We have to continually choose. But you said, to some people it feels insurmountable. But to me, what's really cool, because you're talking a little bit about relapse and stuff too. To me, what's really cool is like, so I've never relapsed on cocaine or crack. I
Mm-hmm.
have done some psychedelics and stuff, experimented with trying to use drugs therapeutically and stuff like that. But I've never relapsed on my drug of choice. But what's cool is that because it's a journey and because we continually choose to or not do it, if I relapsed, that doesn't define my sobriety. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't define any part of my life, actually. And like, that's what's cool is, yeah, it feels insurmountable because you have to choose the right thing every day. But at the same time, if you choose the wrong thing, you get a second chance
Mm-hmm.
and a third chance and an infinite chance until it's done. So, it is a journey. And what's interesting, as far as like the journey allegory or whatever you would call it, like the comparison to journeys, to physical journeys, is that like physical journeys, it gets easier.
Mm-hmm.
Like physical journeys, you get more used to the weight you have to carry. Like in the beginning, the 100 pounds of trauma that you're carrying might feel like super, super heavy. But over time, it gets lighter. But sometimes you'll injure yourself and that 100 pounds will be really heavy again, but you can heal. And it's very similar to like a super long trek like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the way that you put that together too, because I think sometimes we do get really hard on ourselves if we do have, again, not just specific to addiction terms, but anything else that goes on with relapses. Then we throw away. If I say, for example, I just staying on the fitness one or whatever, I have a donut this morning. Well, some people, I'll throw the whole day away. You know what?
Hmm.
I might as well start next week. Let's throw the whole week away. But that's part of what we're talking about here. Just that one decision does not necessarily have to define you, for one, but also define your journey that you're going on. There's
Hmm.
going to be missteps. There's going to be sometimes relapses. There's going to be these type of things. But like you said, that's nothing's ever insurmountable in the sense that you continue to get to choices. Again, excuse me, the chance to make different choices day in and day out. And I think that's the beautiful thing about life in general. For me, is that I could quit my job tomorrow if I truly chose to and go off and, I don't know, be a dog groomer or something. Whatever it is that I somehow get a passion about. Right now, my girlfriend
Mhm.
might not like that so much, but we'll talk it out and we'll be okay. Right. But I think that's one of the cool things about life is you continually get to define your own life, and the only time you really are boxed in is when you agree to be boxed in.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's I couldn't agree more, and I have a love-hate relationship with the level of choice that we have, like, how I could just stop and become a dog groomer because it's like, oh, man, we have so many especially,
Mhm.
in North America or the whatever they call it, developed world. I don't know what the right word is politically or whatever, but,
It's developed,
here.
yeah. My
Okay.
my my girlfriend's an epidemiologist, so she teaches me all the time whenever the new words change and stuff like that. But yes, it's developed and developing is the
Oh,
two
okay,
terms now.
okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in the developed world, we have unbelievable amounts of options, and of course, there's challenges and there's hurdles and stuff. But one of the things, that's really cool though, is that pretty much no matter what your life is like, we get to choose how we interact with it. We get to choose if your girlfriend's chewing gum across the room,
No, that was
you
me.
can
I'm the gum
oh,
chewer. So
okay.
just to
So
be
if you're
clear.
chewing gum across the room, your girlfriend can be playful about it, or she can throw a shoe at your head, or she can walk out and leave, and how she interacts with that. Like maybe, like a lot of things that people find annoying in their partner eventually become endearing to them
Mm,
because their thoughts shift around it. And like that's just a really cool, like almost like magical power that we have. And so sort of going back to the journey thing, in it's related to what I was just saying, is one of the things that's really, really helpful for me is when they say one step forward, two steps back.
mhm,
So one of the things that I think about is when I take a step back, quote unquote, is I like to think about runners and how when runners want to go fast, they step back first and then
mhm.
run. It gives them more leverage. So sometimes when it feels like life is going poorly and we're stepping back, we're really just getting more leverage to do better.
Thanks for checking out Starting Nowhere. Come find us on Facebook so you can comment on this and other clips and episodes of Starting Nowhere.